cheer again.
Coming up Christmas time. Parties, friends, we're all on the go again.
You better bundle up, it's starting to snow again.
See you under that mistletoe again. Coming up Christmas time. It's time to buy those Christmas gifts. The line of shop is free.
To make sure I get what I want, I buy my gift for me.
It's about that time for after the ring again. Favorite carols we all want to sing again.
All the joy the season will bring again.
Coming up Christmas.
Hello and welcome to the Holy Duffer Podcast Holiday Show. Tonight we're going to honor the holiday and reveal our ultimate Christmas wish list. This is going to be a list that is going to be exceptionally awesome and spendy at the end of it. And we can't wait to tell each other what we decided that is. But before we go any further, we'd like to extend a formal welcome and thank you to all the listeners that found us from our last episode. If you've watched or listened to that episode, Strolan did a trip with the Nation Boys into Nationland. And he was able to sit down and interview the guys from the Nation and gave us a great promotion, which they did, and they did an awesome job of that. And so, if you found us from the Fellowship, welcome aboard. I guarantee you, it probably was a good idea. Now, before I fly my sleigh too far down the fairway, let's get Strolan in here and see what's going on. Hey, Strolan.
Hey, Mark, what is up? Yeah, thanks for having me. Glad to be back from that trip and glad to be back at it in the studio. That was a very interesting trip. I've never done a remote trip before. I had to buy some extra equipment and kind of like set it up. Very interesting to set up a podcast in a studio in a kitchen of an Airbnb for a former producer of like multiple syndicated shows. That was a little like, what am I doing here? God. But anyways, we pulled it off and we got a bunch of new friends that come and check us out. And not only are they listening to our last podcast with Adam and Ryan, but they're going back and I'm seeing the bump in numbers and they're listening to our older podcasts, and some of our more recent stuff. So it's great to have new friends, new faces, and we want to interact with you guys. So usually we save the stuff to the end, but I wanted to put it on the beginning. Please like us, follow us, comment. Spotify and YouTube. We just launched our YouTube channel. That was actually supposed to be Mark's announcement, but I just ran right over it. But yeah, our big announcement.
You just couldn't wait, could you? You couldn't give me just one thing.
I was so excited. It was so cool. So anyways, we did get our stuff up on YouTube, and we'd love to curate our comments there. And tell you what, if you get a comment on YouTube and you leave a good comment and we like it, we're going to read it on air and we're going to respond. How's that sound, Mark?
Yes, absolutely. The more info, the better. So we can better serve the small but growing community of Holy Duffers, or Duffer McShankers, as the Nation Boys call us.
I think we're Shanky McDuffers. I can't remember.
I looked it up. I actually went through the transcript. It's Duffer McShankers.
Is it Duffer McShankers?
It is, and it is an instant account. Content to be determined later, but we're gonna have fun with that. Not sure what that's going to be, but that's going to be definitely something that makes us giggle, I think.
Well, no penis in it. I don't know how it's going to make us giggle. So anyways, it's been a really fun week for us. A big week, and we're hoping you guys are back and, want to have some more fun with us. And, this is a lighthearted episode. We wanted to do one that kind of wrapped up the holiday season because we're going to get this out right before Christmas. And so this is like a little bit of, jolly and merriment. We just had the Nation Boys. They did their Merry Swankmas episode. I may have had a few many cocktails and piled into it and ended up making an ass out of myself. But at least they loved it. They thought it was great content. And so since content is king, I did, do that. So here we are, and we're going to actually have a little fun tonight. And what are we talking about tonight? What are we doing, Mark?
I don't know, but just to swing back to you crashing their podcast, were you like in old school, and you were like, "Oh, we're streaking, streaking, man."
That was exactly it. Oh wait, well that was the result, but that was a good comparison. That was exactly it. I decided I was going to get on the podcast, and Justin Young is their producer, and he was running the ones and twos, and I knew it, so I started texting him because I have his number, and I was like, "Dude, come on, man, get me on there." Well, that was like at the beginning, Meanwhile, I'm just like pounding the Miller Lights, listening to this podcast, or there is a video show on YouTube. They did actually a live show. And I'm like, come on, dude, get me on. And then he calls me because I thought we'd do it on the soundboard. And he calls me and he's like, I can put you on right now, man. I'm like, now this is like 9:30 and I've had like 9 beers. I'm like, yeah, bro, let's go.
You're 100% old school.
I was like, yeah, let's do it. And
like Will Ferrell.
Yeah, I was. Next thing you know, I was Will Ferrell streaking down the middle of the street by myself. I was like, what the fuck is going on? It's like at the end of the podcast or end of their show. I keep calling it a podcast, but it was a YouTube show. Ryan like chastised Justin. He was like, because Justin also brought on earlier in the show a dog that like pressed buttons that were lit in colors on the ground. They're like, I don't know what it was. They're like mixed
awesome.
beats. It was like some type of the DJ dog, and then the dog did like a shitty job. And so at the end of the show, Ryan's like, Justin, can you do your job? The only thing you got me today is this dog that did nothing, and Scott Nolan hammered. So I'm like, great.
But I mean, it sounds entertaining to me, and I'm sure it was. And that's Justin's fault for giving you his number.
Oh man, it was fun though. Anyways,
that's awesome.
You guys continue to be our buddies, and we have a spot in our heart for them, and maybe we'll see them back on our podcast in the future. But in the meantime, enough about me being a drunken ass. Thanks, Mark.
Anytime I can point that out, I will, because it makes me just smile.
I was smiling.
Oh yeah, you were having a good time. Come on.
Then I forgot that I had left it on the TV for everyone to listen to in my household. And my wife comes into the studio, and I get off the phone. She's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I'm like, oh, "It was awesome." Oh man.
Okay, disagree.
Okay. So,
all right.
All right. We're belaboring it, but it was funny.
A little bit, but it was funny. It was good. Thank you. If you listen to that and still are listening to us, we do appreciate you.
Yeah, we definitely do. So let's get on to why are we here, Mark? Come on, tell me what's going on. What are we doing?
Yeah, what we're here for is this is a Christmas list, but this is the one where it's like you won the lottery. You could have anything golf related that you want. And it made us think about, because, what would that be? And it expands it a little bit, because you can get spendy with things. Like you can get like really expensive bags and stuff like that, stuff that's like that. But then it really, what if you just didn't have a budget? And it was a fun exercise for us, and I hope it's fun as we go down the line and see like how we diverge. I'm interested about that because we're discovering it right now with you guys. Like, what is it that we're like our prized possession? What is our precious?
Exactly. I went in order of least expensive to most expensive. So my first one is not an expensive one, and then I go up as I go and kind of finish with a bang. But I was actually thinking about this earlier. I was like, man, what if we did a Brewster's Millions version of this? Like, you got to spend $1 million in golf equipment to get $30 million.
We all just immediately start buying Hama.
Yeah, exactly. And you have 7 days to do it. It's like,
wow. Yeah.
I need to mail like a $500,000 stamp immediately.
Right. Yeah.
So
exactly.
Okay, actually, we shouldn't make that joke because I actually went on the back end and looked at our demographic, and a skewer's actually younger. And I don't know how many people are going to understand Brewster Millions.
Oh, so that was a movie with a comedian that you probably don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
So Do we have an old button? Like, do we have like get off my lawn?
I know what I need is a Grandpa Simpson button.
You need a Grandpa Simpson button.
I wore an onion on my belt. Because that was the style of the time. Anyways, that was a very old joke that dated us. So sorry. Anyways, back on topic.
Back on topic. So, okay, what's number one for you?
Oh, we're going to get right into it. Sweet.
Yeah, why not?
Number one. Number one for me is, hold on, the Jet Stick Swing Speed Trainer for $112. That is the first thing I would probably purchase or ask for on my Christmas wish list that I think I really, really would like to have. And I knew we want to match up on this because you have one.
And I absolutely agree. It's probably one of my favorite pieces of equipment that I have now for just getting better with my swing and just practicing. Except maybe my first one, which is an even lower budget one, but it is a practice grip.
Let me give Jet Stick their due. Okay. So people know what it is. Jet Stick's made by Mach 3. They're a speed training program. One that's a little less known. Wouldn't you say, Mark? I mean, everyone talks about ripstick and stack, and that's what we've been doing. But really, the Mach 3 training system is really, really interesting. And the Jet Stick trainer, I would love to have it because it goes really well as a complement to the Orange Whip, which I'm a big fan of. And because one thing that Mark pointed out was great, the Jet Stick, not only does it make you swing fast, make you fire your twitch muscles, and also get your heart rate going if you're going to do anything like a stack program or a ripstick program, great for warming up. But I think one thing that it really is good at, what Mark points out to me is, what you've pointed out to me is how well it teaches you a good release. Yeah.
So if you can look at this, and we'll give you it. Basically, it looks like almost like a medieval weapon.
Well, it's cool too.
Yeah, it's very cool, and it could be useful, of course, depending on where you're playing and who you're playing with. But it's got a grip, a shaft, and then it has attached to that. It has about 4-5 inches of a chain and a ball at the end. And what it does is that makes that inertia, like you can feel like the center of gravity of it, being behind you or ahead. Like if you flip it, you'll absolutely know it. You can't flip it and not know it. Where you can do that with a golf club, and often many people do, you can't do that with this. You know that you have. And like the slower you use it, actually, the more you totally realize it. So if you're trying to figure out, how not to be flipped at impact, just swing this slowly and you will immediately understand. It immediately light bulb goes off, I think.
Yeah, it's a nice thing. Again, like the Orange Whip, which I'm a huge fan of for teaching swing playing. It's one of those things where you don't have to be hitting a ball. You can do it in the backyard for a few minutes, 5 minutes. That's why it is a very good warm-up tool for something like the stack or rip sticks as well. But it just is. It's one of those things that we've learned that is the best training tools are the ones that are self-organizing. Like you have to do it right or it doesn't work at all. And that's where the Jet Stick's great. So $112, it is right there on the top of my list of Christmas things on a budget. Not the next few, but that one is.
No. Yeah. I start out with a budget one, and this one's right up there with the Jet Stick for me. And that is a practice grip on a club that you only use for practice, one or more clubs. So I have this on a 5-iron, which is about where my bag breaks. And what I mean by that is that's about where I stop being able to gap my clubs well. So right around 5. And so that's a hard club for me to swing. So I like having the grip there. I like practicing with it. If I have a few minutes, I'll do something with the Jet Stick, or I'll do something with that. Just pick it up and just hit a couple of balls with no other info.
You're talking about the practice grip that Scotty Scheffler uses. You can get it at any Golf Galaxy for $11. It's a grip you put on, and you can only hold it one way, which is actually it's a proper, I think, little tilted towards a strong grip. Wouldn't you say? And
It is.
It's very close to the grip I use, but at least it gets your hands in the proper positions to where you're holding it, doing things correctly. Even I was making a mistake with like my right thumb where I was pointing it down towards the club when you're actually supposed to wrap it over to help you with the club face. So that was a mistake I was always making, and I had learned it just in the last couple of years. Oh my God, I was not doing that right, and it helped with my ball striking, especially with irons. That's what's built into this club. So I think that's an idea of what it is, or into this grip. I threw it on an A wedge. I threw it on a what was the other club I put it on? Oh, an 8-iron. That one I bought. I found a JPX 923 hot metal 8-iron in the used bin for $65 at Roger Dunn, and I slapped one of those things on in about a heartbeat. And it is a great club. It's such a great thing. We go back to the way I said Scotty Scheffler uses it. When he got arrested at the PGA, he has a 7-iron that's exactly built out like his regular 7-iron, but it has that exact grip on it. It's an $11 grip you can buy at Golf Galaxy, and he literally, that was the only thing he warmed up with before he went out after being arrested and only had like 15 minutes to hit balls in the range. He grabbed that club, made sure his grip was good, made sure his strike was good. And I think, didn't he shoot like 68 that day?
Yeah, he did something. Not in the same vein, but I had a recent, my last round that I played, that's about what I had time to do. I picked up the 5-iron. I warmed up a little bit, then I hit a few balls with it, and I shot the front 9. I shot 43, and it would have been 40 if I hadn't 3-putted 3 times. Like, it's like I was hitting, and it's not that I hit everything, every shot, but the shots I needed to hit well, I did, and that's part of that is the grip and the confidence and all those things that happen, and I think it's huge.
Yeah, it is. That's a great thing. So, man, you've only spent $12, and I've already spent $112. Advantage, Mark.
Yeah, well, yes, it will change. It will change. So my next thing is, I think I would love to have one of those follow cars. It's like a little robot that follows me with my golf bag.
Oh man, you just went way up in price. You went from $10 to like $1,000.
Yeah, it's like, I think they're like $5,000 to $7,000. Don't care, they're awesome, and I would totally have one.
They are awesome. They you know, we are like the you're wearing a Nation hat. And we're the sister podcast of the Nation Golf. Ryan hates all walking carts, by the way.
He does. But if it walks by itself, is it really a walking cart?
Oh, true.
Right? True. I think it's a loophole. I think it's a loophole.
I think
like, if we blinged it out, look, if I think we blinged it out and got its like some Cadillac looks.
Yeah, and you put a couple flags on it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think we're in. I think we're in.
All right, the walking cart's good. So you want my number 2?
I do.
It's gonna be the lifetime sub to the MLM 2 Pro from Masmoto. Right now, they're offering it to the end of the year for previous subscribers for $300.
That's a slam dunk.
Yeah, that's a slam dunk. I think it's a Christmas present to myself after Christmas, before my wife realizes what's going on with the credit card. But $300, dude, and that thing, it's unlocked for me for life. I can have it till it breaks or falls over. I run it over with my car. So, yeah, for the value of that, and as much as it does, I'm only now. You're about $5,000 plus in. I'm only in about $412.
Yeah. I have a feeling like it's going to go up with you, though.
Very fast.
Okay, excellent.
Yes, very fast. So you want to go next? You're kind of doing a snaking thing where I did 1 and then you did 1 and 2. So am I supposed to do 2 and 3?
Yes, you are, dude.
Okay, then 2 and 3. Number 3 for me, the hack motion. Runs between $300 and $400 to $500, depending on the package you buy. But I mean, for me to be able to figure out, if I have extension or not at the point of impact, and the drills that thing offers. So the hack motion is a wrist sensor. So basically, you wear it on your lead wrist, and it's going to tell you what the angle of your wrist is on the app. If you're either early extending down at the ball, or at the top of your backswing, whether if you're adding a lot of bow, where your wrist is more turned down towards the ground. It is a killer little thing and a killer app, and it's just more than just telling you that, but it also has a putting feature, and that also, which I think with heads up putting and having that on your wrist would be fucking awesome. And then it also has practices it will put you through where you're supposed to hit certain points. Like if you're trying to accomplish, say you want to hit like a knockdown shot, it's going to tell you where your wrists need to be to do that. And then, tell you, I think it even vibrates if you're out of position. So the hack motion, what a great little product. I would love to try it out and I'd love to have it. So that falls definitely right in the number 3 of my wish list for Christmas.
I 100% love that. That could easily be on my list. Because I think it's a great product, and it's probably a product that will end up in my rotation in the next year. I think it's so valuable because of the feedback it gives you. It's so good, dude.
It's one of those things that's I almost went with the Pro Sender in this slot, and the Pro Sender is something a lot of pros are using, and it's one thing that kind of, it's one of those things that you wear on you while you're swinging, and it kind of puts your wrist into that position,
right?
Where you have that, where you're not extending early, and you have that bow at the top of your swing, and if by where it touches you on your arm, it's physically remind you to get in those positions. But I think the hack motion with the app and everything else, I don't know. I'm a tech driven guy, and I think it's fucking cool. So hack motion for me is number 3 on the wish list.
Excellent. So for me, it is a custom set of clubs. Now, when I originally thought about this, I was thinking about like Muras, like these like incredible blades, and I could be talked into those, but I also could be talked into the 3D printed Cobra irons.
Yeah, you've got all Cobra.
I'm all in. I'm all in on. It's me and Ricky Fowler. We're gonna be on the tour soon with it. They are
the bright orange hat and the whole fucking thing.
100%. I will go all orange if it's. By the way, here's the thing. Note to everyone: let's say if you're all those 15 and 10s out there, if it made you a scratch player, would you wear the all orange?
Hell yeah, dude.
Yes, 100%. Right.
I'd grow that fucking mullet and do the whole goddamn thing. I'm buying in on that shit. White belt,
100%.
Nation.
But right? So those 3D printed irons are like $3,000, which is right around what a custom fitted Muras are, right?
Hold on, I got a question. So now, do they do the 3D? They bring you in, do a in-depth fitting, and then fit them out to you in the 3D printing. I mean, they're not just firing. They do
not. You can get these they are 3D printed, and you can get them custom to you. You can get whatever shaft and whatever lie or loft you want. But the 3D printing allows them to make a blade format, but you get the forgiveness of like a G430. Like it's an insane thing because of what they can do with it. They can manipulate all the mass points. So that was intriguing, but it'd be tough because the eye candy, just like the bag candy of just like having Muras that are like custom, like, finished, hand finished. It'd be tough to walk away from that. But those 3D ones are pretty nice. I would probably end up with the Muras because they're so sick, but those 3D printed Cobras are pretty badass too. So that would be me. So custom made clubs.
Playing with Engle, and he had those fucking Hogan blades.
Right?
Oh, God. They were jewelry, dude. They were so fucking sick. I was like, oh my God. I couldn't hit them. I'm like,
no, but they gave you a bag boner.
Oh, yeah, dude. Gave me bag boner. There it is. Dude, we got like what 20 minutes in this episode for the first dick joke. What's going on here?
I don't know. We're in the Christmas spirit.
Yeah, well, after we saw the demos come back, that we have 99% of our listener base is men. I don't think women are rushing to this fucking thing for the fucking wedding tackle.
Although you think they would, but that's neither here nor there.
No, the wedding tackle isn't in a podcast. Not very helpful.
No, probably not.
No,
probably not.
No, that's fine.
All right, so that's what I would say. I would say that's what I would do. Now, going on to our next one, where are we at, Strolan?
I'm at number 4.
And what would your number 4 be?
This one's going to rock your socks. My number 4 would be, would be the SkyTrack Plus.
Nice.
Yes, that would be it. It would be the SkyTrack Plus. I wouldn't, if I could do both and get both of my Christmas list and have the MLM2 Pro for a lifetime that I could just throw in my bag and use anywhere and use my backyard or whatever, but then have that versatility of the SkyTrack Plus software and the ability to maybe even tie it in the golf tech if I wanted to do that. The SkyTrack Plus offers a fucking lot. It's something that it's like, if I had $2,500 and could buy the subscription and it's something that's in my budget, hell fucking yeah, I'd do it. So track right into the number 4 spot on my Christmas wish list.
I think I was listening to Hack It Out, and they were talking about this, and Mark Crossfield fully believes that that's the best software package for improving your game. Like, it's out there. Yeah.
And I've messed with it. I've played with it at Golf Tech. And the things that they're bringing to it, where you can like build your own practice routines, or you can send it to your coach and they can build routines for you. And it's like, a lot of it's the obstacles away. It's like, okay, you need to hit around this tree, and if it goes right, you're going to the water. Figure it out. And I love shit like that. So the SkyTrack Plus, with what it does and the software that comes for $2,500, I think it's really kind of unparalleled on the market for the dollar value for what it offers. I'm really sold on it. Definitely would be. I thought that would kind of get you like, wow, look at this guy. Wow. Yeah, I thought it'd be a surprise one for you, but that the SkyTrack Plus would be definitely on my Christmas list.
Yeah, it's a pretty impressive package, and kind of really glad I stretched for that. But for me, it would be a full golf studio. When I say that, I mean like a pro level studio I want 3D capture, I want the force plates, and I'm torn now. This is the one thing I'm torn about. I want to get some feedback from you. Quad or TrackMan?
Definitely not TrackMan.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I just think the quad's better.
I think quad's the
set up for the indoor,
right
especially
now, and it really comes down to, and we didn't touch on this when we had our conversation about Ping's whole, wedge study they came out with, and 20,000 swings they recorded on a motion capture system. I didn't tell you with that motion capture system, and it included putting with how they do it in the movies, where they put little balls all over the club, and it motion captures it like in a 3D environment. What they did is they built this whole thing that's like just Ping, and they just released. That was just their first stab at like, this is what we're trying to do, and that was the point of the podcast on the sweet spot. I'm kind of sorry, guys. I'm talking over your head because me and Mark had this conversation earlier, but I'll backtrack a bit. Ping released a study where they basically did a motion capture system on 20,000 golfers on chipping with wedges, which has never been able to do before because it's such a small swing and so slow that they've never been able to capture it correctly, and they did. So they did this big study on that, and it was just really, really interesting in what they did. So I mean, one of the things that it works with though is the GC quad. Right. I mean, the GC quad, the guy that came on the sweet spot and talked about it, his name was Todd. Can't remember his last name, but basically he was like, the GC quad just captures the impact point more correct. The TrackMan doesn't. There's a differentiation between where ground contact and angle of attack is between the TrackMan and the GC Quad. Because one's camera based and one's radar based. TrackMan's radar based, and they just found that the camera system, I think, for obvious apparent reasons, is more accurate. So I would say yes. With that all in mind, if you're going to do something like that, going with the force plates, build the whole thing. And the new GC Quad that just came out is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
they updated their software package too. I could not find a real reason to say anything else other than the GC Quad.
Yeah, so GC Quad, and so this puts this package, assuming you have the space, somewhere around $75,000 to $100,000 worth of equipment and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but since we don't have a budget, why not?
Okay, so you want to hear my number 5 because this is fucking great.
Yes.
Garage golf sim remodel.
Yes.
Same exact thing. Which I have a detached garage, and it's already finished. It has drywall in the whole 9 yards. It does flood when it rains, but I mean, if I'm gonna do this, I fucking fix that problem. I put pumps in whatever the fuck it took. But I would literally take the roof off my garage, raise it up, cantilever it so that it cantilever to the north, put windows up so I can see the mountains, and build a fucking simulator in there that'd be sick as shit. I sit in my garage all the time because I have my man cave back there, and I got a fridge back there with some beers in it. Maybe, possibly, maybe a little sticky, icky, but yeah.
There might be some family of skunks back there.
Yeah. Is there a skunk out here? So anyways, but yeah, dude, same exact thing. If I were to have the number, well, I guess we flipped it. It should be the number 1 thing on my Christmas list.
Yeah, but that's like the balls out one for you. Yeah.
That would be balls to the walls. But doable. I sit out there and I'm like, yeah, if you had the money, this is all doable. I mean, I could do that, and it'd be really, really sick. For me, interesting. I don't know if I do the GC Quad. I probably would, but I'd look at other systems too, like Unicore.
Right.
They're above systems, pretty goddamn cool. TrackMan's system, it's still a radar system. It doesn't have a camera thing, kind of like the MLM Pro. Again, it's hard to get away from the GC Quad because the Quad does so much right, and anything other than a camera-based system. Now, going to Golf Tech, one thing that they had that was really cool was a GC Quad tied into their camera system.
Yes,
their front and back camera system that had essentially motion capture built into it, much like the gear system that Mark Crossfield talks about all the time.
Yes,
so. Dude, if you could add that into it, oh.
Well, and so back to mine, there are force plate companies that have a 3D capture camera system that ties in. So that's what I was thinking. Similar thing, because that's the Golf Tech stuff actually is so powerful that to have like right in your home because you can go down the street.
That'd be so sick.
Yeah.
Of course, there's the whole thing with Golf Tech too. If you're, doing it with SkyTrack wouldn't be a bad thing if you can get like the force plate camera system up, and then if you were a Golf Tech guy, like like you had a coach there and all that, that'd be. I mean, I think that'd be really fucking cool too. So I mean, that is not like. I mean, you can do something like that with SkyTrack and still get away with it. But I mean, we're talking about millionaire, billionaire stuff. Hey, I'm going to remodel my whole garage and put in a fucking full blown golf simulator.
Exactly.
I'm going to, dimes of donuts. I'm going to go ahead and spend the money on the golf GC Quad and go foresight. And
at that point, you definitely are. So, go ahead.
Anyways, to say fuck it.
Right. All right. So number 5 would be a full-on golf trip with the bros to play the open roto, the rotation of everywhere they play the open. There are some courses that I think they all would eat my lunch, but I think it'd just be fun as a trip, and we could pick and choose on it. But I think doing that.
Some of those courses, Carnoustie comes to mind. That fucking course is tough. And then there was another one that it's really funny you say this because they brought on the Hack It Out podcast, they brought in Greg Chalmers' caddy, Dougie.
Yeah.
And Dougie's interesting cat, but he's done mostly brain fart, caddying on the senior tour. And there's one course that's on that open rotation because they've shared. I can't maybe that's on the coast, and it's like never not pouring fucking rain and windy as fuck. Because what Crossfield said about it is it's exactly in the spot on the west coast of England that is completely exposed to all the weather that's coming from the United States.
Oh my goodness!
Because there's a jet stream that just travels straight across that land.
Oh my god!
And it's like you can be out there and be like 40 miles per in and just like 40 mile per hour wind and just slanting fucking rain. And they're like, yeah, we got to play the tournament. And you're like, what the fuck? It's like,
maybe pick and choose. I think the old course. Right?
I'll play. There was one thing. There was a really good review that No Laying Up did about playing all the Scottish courses.
Yeah.
They really were saying, they said that if you couldn't get out on the old course, the new course, which was designed in 1878, is absolutely fantastic. It's supposed to be really, really, really good.
Oh, cool. And to be fair, you don't have to necessarily just going to that part of the world to play golf. I think would be amazing.
No, I'm more with you that. That's why we're trying to do this trip to Ireland next year.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
So that's my 5, man. I think that a big, gnarly, go see the beginnings of golf trip.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. What a great list. See, we came up with some really fun items. I can't wait till my wife listens to this and gets them all for me for Christmas. That is not happening. So I got a golf.
She is not one of our viewers.
That's what I was doing. Remember, you said, let's do the podcast. I said, give me 20 minutes. I'm wrapping presents. I was wrapping my own.
Are you gonna be surprised?
I had my eyes closed.
Sweet. Well, then that doesn't count. You're fine.
It doesn't count. Great.
Awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, that's an awesome list. I like everything that you put down there. Yours was maybe a little more grounded than mine, actually. I'm like, no, I want to spend millions of dollars.
Well, I want the first 4 to be attainable, and I knew the 5th one would be pie in the sky. So
yeah, I went a little harder, a little faster on it. But but so to recap, Scott's list is spot on and perfect. I wouldn't change actually anything on it. The only addition, like I would put on, if it was like a practical list, was the grip. I think everything else was spot on. Mine was a little like, hey, I got money to burn, baby, which was a little less helpful. But those are solid choices, all of those.
I like that you included the grip because the grip is really, really cool. I mean, guys, look it up. Scotty Scheffler, he uses it. He builds his 7-iron exactly the same with that grip. You can go to any Roger Dunn, any Golf Galaxy, slap it on for $11. Great, just warm up with it. I hit like 6 or 7 shots of that thing, and I'm like hitting my irons like a pro, and I'm like, oh, because my grip is just adjusts you just right. Now you may try it out, and it may not be for you. You may have a weak grip. You may look at it as a way that most pros are actually holding it, or trying to hold it, but it's not the same for everybody. Lucas could not hold it, could not do it, couldn't hit a ball.
Right. Well, his grip is much different. Mine was, it definitely wasn't as strong with the right hand, but I immediately found that I got control of contact really quickly with it, so I learned to love it pretty quick.
Yeah, it really. if you buy into it and try it out, and if it feels weird to you and I don't want to do that, give it a whirl. And just practice with it. If you don't like it, then, you can just toss it aside. But couldn't recommend it enough.
Yeah, that get a jet stick, orange whip, and then spend hundreds of $1,000s on cool video and recording equipment for your so you can see your disaster from all angles.
I like we both landed on the same exact thing as number 5. It's like, with no money, I'm building a goddamn golf studio.
Dude, it'd be like, yeah, because there's a couple I have some golf studio envy. A couple of people I watched on YouTube. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Like how so what a giant rabbit hole that is. You can see everything and see every angle, and it's all quantified.
Well, and it's also just to have it this time of year. I mean, I have the MLM Pro 2, and I can set up a pretty damn good simulator in my backyard. I have a very good mat. I have a very good net. I can swing away in all my clubs. It's cold. I don't want to, and I get home from work at 5:30, 6 o'clock at night, and it's dark and it's cold, and it's like I don't really feel like going outside and it's warming up the hip balls after being on my feet for 9 hours in a day. And that's just kind of occupational hazard. That's the way our lives are. We're full-time workers. We're not golf guys. We'd love to be, but we're not. So it's like it's a little tougher to have that indoor heated room. It
makes it a little more accessible. Also, okay, so as an add-on, I'd say the mat that we both use, which is the Elite Country Club Elite.
Yeah,
Country Club Elite. Yeah, such a great mat. I can't say enough about that. And then just having a good hitting net is, especially this time of year where you can just steal away 15, 20 minutes or whatever it is, it's invaluable if you want to get better at golf, I think. Yeah, just having that.
I agree. It's all about a timing thing. So, anyways, Mark, I think to wrap it up, Merry Christmas, man. This is awesome. We got a Christmas episode out. We've had a really good year for the podcast. It's grown. It's not huge, but you guys have, hopefully you stuck around to listen to us. And this is a little closer to more to what me and Mark do. We do like doing our jaw jacking and all that, but we also like to talk about golf, and that's why we're here. We're trying to make golfers better and give you guys ideas to get better. So, we do a bit of both. We always have fun, but as far as the end of the year goes, this was a great send off, and you know what, man, Merry Christmas, congratulations. I'm really thankful that we started this, and it's been a really good thing, and I'm really excited for 2025.
I am too. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you, by the way, and whoever is bothered to last this long on this lovely little meandering thing we did. Have a merry and happy Christmas. We're all trying to get better at golf, and that's really what this is all about. We have all these things, or tried all these things, because we simply want to get better and have more fun on the golf course, and that's the gist of everything we do, regardless if we're making jokes or not. That's the whole point. Hopefully hanging out with us.
Yeah, and it's great having everyone around and some new friends and new faces. If you guys are going out to the Desert Classic this year, I'll be out there. And, if you see us, come on up, say hi. Mark's trying to get a spot out there. We'll see if it happens.
We'll see if that happens. Yeah. We'll see if I'm cool enough to be part of the crowd.
I think it's less than cool enough. I think you have to be lucky. That's how I got started on this thing. Just luck.
I mean, we had the conversation about how Irish I am. All right. Well, thank everybody again for being a part of this and enjoying this with us. And I hope you like these lists. It was fun for Strolan and I to do this. Everyone have a great and happy and Merry Christmas with your friends, families, and randos. And have a great new year. And we'll see you on the other side. You can find me at Mark at holyduffer.com. And Strolan, where can they find you?
Strolan 007 at holyduffer.com. And I'm with you, Mark. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, everybody. It's been a great 2024 for the Holy Duffer podcast. We're very excited moving into the next year. We really have some bigger things on the horizon. And we really wanted to get this podcast to a point where it was worth listening to. And thank you to Adam Hawk. Thank you to Ryan Engle. And thank you to all the guys at Nation Golf that believed in us and put their support behind us and send some people our way to listen to, what we're doing here. And they believed in us, and they believe in us a little bit. And we really appreciate it. And that's what the season's all about, is about friendships, family, and working together to reach a common goal. And I think for the fellowship and the guys from Nation, we have a common goal as me and Mark here at the Holy Duffers. And, we really want to try to, spread the love of the game and the love of getting better at the game and how to do it in a fun way. And I think that is a goal that we all have in common. So Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. You guys find us at theholyduffer.com. Find us at YouTube, The Holy Duffer Podcast, and all platforms. We're everywhere now. We're out there, and we're putting ourselves out there, and we're having a goddamn good time doing it.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better, Strolan. And to everyone, a good night.
Good night, Mark.